Well, hello, and welcome to the Africam show. And thank you to explore.org that we can be here with you. What a beautiful scene we are starting with here in Kenya, and just such variety right off the bat. My name is Amy, and I will be doing the Africam show with you all today. And lovely to be on board here, and I'm looking forward to see what the afternoon holds for us. Oh wow, there's a jackal. That's so cool. It looks like a blackback jackal that just ran in for a drink. I'm so surprised that the giraffe hasn't reacted, or the giraffes are just so relaxed. That is awesome. Zygote, hi. Thank you for saying you say yay Tuesday. I enjoy these shows with a coffee and a muffin, and thank you to Explore and the Guides. It's such a pleasure to be here, Amber, and it's wonderful to have you on board this afternoon with us. What a special sighting! This is so cool. Now, jackals can most certainly, or jackals can certainly hunt for themselves, but they also do a lot of scavenging. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it ate something today and just felt a little bit thirsty and want to get some water. But nevertheless, it's moved off, probably heading off to go find something else to eat. They usually flush out things like rodents and maybe other small birds that they're looking to eat. But wow, I mean, what a scene we have in front of us here. This is so beautiful. Karu, I apologize if I'm not saying your name correctly, but it's nice to meet you. Oh, Karu. Thank you for the correction, Karu. It is so lovely to meet you as well, and good to have you on board for this afternoon. Dear, hi. You say good morning from a rainy Seattle, and you've just made it in time with your coffee. That is wonderful news. I must say, for me here in where I am based in South Africa, in the Lowveld area, I will not be drinking coffee until after my dinner tonight. It is so hot today. I think it's around 38 degrees Celsius. I'm definitely looking for the cold drinks rather than the warm drinks. April Owl, that sounds like you have the same thing in mind. You say good morning from sunny Connecticut. With your cherry iced tea, you are ready to go. That sounds wonderful, cherry iced tea. I don't think I've had cherry iced tea before. Mention lemon, but it sounds delicious. It's wonderful to have you all on board and to know that you're watching with us this afternoon. Well, we have started off the show with some beautiful scenes here in Kenya, but why don't we head over to Tembe Elephant Park and see what's happening over there? Well, I believe there were elephants here as well. We might be able to find them again if we look around a little bit, but there were some earlier that have been enjoying splashing here at the waterhole. Rena, hi. What an interesting question. You are asking what the situation is like in South Africa at the moment. If there's a drought, the elephants look awfully skinny. Rena, it is dry season. I'll start by saying that. It's not particularly a drought. It hasn't been classified as that yet in comparison to former years, 2015, 2016, when the really bad droughts hit. Even going into 2017, I think KwaZulu-Natal was still quite dry. But yeah, it's just this time of year. Things are a lot drier. I mean, we're very fortunate with Tembe here, which has a lot of water still, but you can see the grass is really brown, that sort of thing. And yes, I mean, areas like Rosie's Pan or any of the low felt cameras that you would be really dry at the moment. But in terms of the elephants looking skinny, elephants are actually generally quite skinny. I know that might sound funny, but if we look at them, they're not really. I don't want to say overweight because an animal, they will eat what they need generally. In the wild, there's only so much available. Um, but we see their hip bones, we see their shoulder blades. They never sort of on the side of being overweight or being particularly, I don't know, less bony at certain times. I do think that, of course, in the dry season, animals do tend to lose some body condition and maybe they look slightly more skinny than normal, but they definitely still have a lot of food out here, and elephants in particular are amazing in being able to still eat a lot and be able to find nutrients for themselves to get in to survive, and make it through the dry season. Even though there's not a lot of grass, they still eat, as you can see that elephant starting to munch away there on a delicious looking tree, but also find that nutrition in roots and things like that. So I think there's a you can fairly say that they do lose maybe some condition, but I don't think, to me personally, I don't think they're looking awfully skinny. I think it is sometimes just what we perceive with it being very dry at this time of the year. When we see them eating a lot more greener things, perhaps they look a little bit more plump to chat about, Rena. And thank you for asking that question. Mr. H, hello. You asking what's my favorite bird? Oh goodness me, where do I even start with that question? Just linked to that. This particular spot at Tembe in northern KZN is such a great spot for birding. Even now in the winter, but of course, going into the summertime and with the migrants returning. Somebody, I saw my first Wahlberg's eagle at Juma a few days. It was super exciting. We saw another one just close by here again. So they definitely have returned. More and more will be seen going into the rest of August and September, and of course throughout the year. But it is exciting to know the migrants are on their way. But Mr. H, my favorite bird, oh my gosh, my favorite call, I'll start with that because I can't, it's impossible for me to just choose one. Absolutely impossible. There's a bird called a gorgeous bushrack. It's one of the very first calls that I learnt when I started my training and when I really got into my birding, which I just absolutely love. And Tembe, the whole of northern KZN is a wonderful area to be able to bird. Oh, here we go. This is gorgeous. There's a little herd coming to drink at King's Camp. Beautiful. But yes, Mr. H, I'd say the gorgeous bushrack in looks, but also in its call is just stunning. I love owls. Owls are amazing. And the little African scops owl is probably my favorite owl. It's so cute, but an incredible bird, and it's so beautiful, which I love as well. But like I said, impossible to choose one. I can't do it. There's too many that are special for their own reasons. The southern ground hornbill is another amazing bird that I think is so special. So yes. Susie, you say beautiful good morning from Missouri. It's lovely to have you with us, Susie, as well as Trainer Matt. You are from Charlotte, North Carolina, and you've got your iced coffee ready for the show. Oh, and here we have a hammerkop. That's cool. Another bird saying hello to us here at King's Camp. Very nice to have it in the picture. Rena, thank you for your response. It's really nice to chat to you a little bit about this because I was interested to know if you were referring to something specific that you had seen. So you were able to count the ribs on the elephants who were at Rosie's Pan about 30 minutes ago, and they had a very small baby with them. So you were wondering if the mother had enough milk. So even elephants, yes, you can sometimes count their ribs. And I mean, if we look at these elephants now that we have them so nicely on screen, you can even see their whole spine bone, their backbone sticking. And it's not uncommon actually to be able to see their ribs through their skin. There is, of course, something to be said, though, for elephants that do lose condition and do lose weight. And they might be sick in some ways or very old as well. And we have to remember that as elephants get older, they are not able to absorb the same amount of nutrition from their food that a younger elephant would. And so slowly their body weight does decrease, their fat reserves decrease, and the ribs start to stick out. But yes, I mean, it is something, from seeing elephants, in the times that I've spent with them, it's not uncommon to see their ribs. So I don't think in that case, the one with the baby, we have to worry too much about it. I think she will have enough to still produce milk. The fact that that baby is still suckling from her means that there is milk there for it, which is wonderful news. Karoo, yes, Warburg eagles are back, which is very cool. Maybe one day soon we'll be able to spot them on the Africam cameras. That'll be such a treat. Maybe even there'll be a nest that we can monitor. That's always special as well to be able to do that. And you also say that the gorgeous bushrat has a cute call. It does, doesn't it? Oh, it's my absolute favorite. I love to hear them call. And because I'm based mostly in the greater Kruger area, it's not a bird that is super common here. And actually, one that when I hear it call, I'm like, ooh, where is it? Where is it? In northern KwaZulu Natal, there at Tembi, where we just were, it's actually very common. And like Zygot is saying, that we actually hear that gorgeous bushrat call quite regularly in that area. Well, apparently it is a elephant type of afternoon. Um, let's head over to Timber Plains in Zimbabwe and see what the Ellies are up to there. Oh, wow, this is very cool. So nice to see them here and a little bit of the sand. I wonder if they're going to start doing a bit of dust bait or if they're trying to get out the bits of grass there. It does seem like they're eating something, so maybe there are some shoots and things there that they are enjoying. Zygote, say the southern white-faced owl is your favorite call, along with all the others except for the barn owl. Yes, well, the barn owl's call isn't the most attractive, is it? But I love a southern white-faced owl call. I haven't heard one calling in a very time. Um, even seen one actually in a very long time. There's a pair that's been hanging around at one of the locations that I've been guiding in the Sabi Sands, and that's been lovely to know that they're around. But that call, it's like a whoo, 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 something like that. I'm not a professional bird caller, but it's really pretty. I completely agree with you. Are there some baboons in the background? I think they are, aren't they? Moving around. Yes, there they come. I thought I saw something different, not just birds. And I love to actually see, look at this one, how it's using its foot like this, um, really digging into the sand there. Oh, wow, what a view. I actually, I think this is one of my first times coming to this particular Africam location. And I mean, just to see this big open plain and these animals around you, lots of fork-tailed drongos around. Karu, you actually say the fork-tailed drongo is one of your very favorite birds. It's so entertaining. And there's one that's resident in a place that you know, and it calls silly, lots of silly nonsense in the middle of the night. It's full of beads. Um, yeah, I mean, fork-tailed drongos are also, I admire them a lot. They really are, they're fierce. They're not scared. They go for what they want, even despite their size. So yeah, they are, and they also mimic somewhat, quite a lot actually. And often when I walk back, um, I'm lucky enough to live on a in sort of a wild reserve, and we often have drongos around our little house, and they are calling away and also mimicking um, pole spotted owlets as well as African goshawk, which has been an absolute time to try and find this bird that it's not the bird, it's actually a fork-tailed drongo. So Zygo, thank you so much. I tried my best. Luckily, it's one of the easier calls to do, not so difficult. All right, well, now that those ellies are moving off and we've had a look at these baboons, I think let's head over to Onguma in Namibia and see the elephants that are over there. Oh, JJ, you were asking about the big molehills in the background there at Tembo Plain. So those are actually not molehills, but termite mounds made by termites that use that to actually live in, basically. And that's sort of what we see is the chimney, sort of the top half. Well, not even half, maybe a third, even a quarter of the entire termite mound, and it helps keep that termite mound at a temperature. I think it's about 30.5 or 31 degrees Celsius. That is necessary, the way the air travels through that. It's an extraordinary thing, a termite mound. To think that they're made by these tiny little creatures that are so just programmed to do what they do, and they do it so well. And that helps sort of ferment the break down the plant material that they bring into it, so that they can help digest them, digest that as food. So termite mounds, giant molehills, but actually termite mounds. And you get all sorts of sort of shapes and colors, depending on the soil. But yeah, there might actually be a termite mound in this picture as well, just to the top right corner behind the trees there. That could also be a termite mound. Well, I'm glad that we could see these elephants here at Onguma, but I think let's head up to Kenya with an elephant that's come to Aldonia. Mindy, you say that you saw termite mounds in Kenya that were 6 tall. I can believe it. Absolutely. I mean, we've got some big ones here in the low felt as well that are it's incredibly huge. Um, and they can be oh the size of some of them mean that they are hundreds of years old, which is an incredible feat for the humble knight. Oh, the scene is just so beautiful with this afternoon sun. Wow, just look at these zebras. Bouchard, hello. It's good to have you with us. You're joining us from Toronto. You can just see the top of Mount Kilimanjaro peeping out now in the background, which is also so beautiful. It is just peaceful to sit and listen. Every now and again, a zebra pops up its head. And we've had such variety here today, from the oryx to eland, giraffe, elephants, and zebra. JJ, I have not been to Kenya before. I would absolutely love to go. It would be an incredible experience. And as a guide, it would also just be amazing to be able to share this extraordinary place with people, and for myself to learn a lot, but also from the naturalist point of view, be able to just see how that system functions and learn so much about it. So hopefully one day, but I haven't been lucky enough to do that just yet. You're right, Psycho. They are like prison ponies, aren't they? The zebras. It's amazing how quickly the clouds are moving here. If you can actually watch them on screen, moving from left to right. I've also actually been able to do with this particular Africam. Oh, there's a zebra arriving. Done a lot of awesome birding here around this waterhole. I remember seeing a straw-tailed whiter a few months back. And of course, these superb starlings are just one of my absolute favorites as well. Oh, Mindy, it is beautiful, isn't it? Everything. I mean, I hope one day I can actually visit Oldonyo because this is such an iconic spot in so many ways. And at this time of year, August, September, even into October, it just tends to thrive with life. It is stunning. The zebras seem to be moving past. I don't know. I thought they would come and drink, but I guess they drank and then they moved, and now they're coming back to have a look here. Oh, there come the others trotting back now. I don't know what's going on with these zebras. They're full of beans this afternoon. Sometimes I do think these animals can hear me or know that we're watching them. And then there's other times that, they, of course, are oblivious. But maybe the movement of the camera does make them curious and then they stare in this direction for a while. Catherine, hello. You want to know if there could be a predator nearby? Look, anything's possible. Anything is definitely possible, Catherine. Um, it is a bit of odd behavior, I will say, them looking around like this, but they were trotting, they weren't really running with fear for their lives. Sometimes they'll also give a bit of an alarm call. Um, but that is absolutely by no means saying that there could not be something lurking, looking at them at this very moment. Right. Well, we sort out the camera. I think let's head over to Tembo Plains, which still has. Ah, there we go. Still has the elephant and baboons. And what looks to be some type of goose. Is that just Egyptian geese? Yes, of course. There they are. Well, this is such a sweet picture of, I think, mom and calf here, um, doing their thing across Timber Plains. Do you say you could just sit around a waterhole all day? I mean, same, absolutely. It is one of the wonderful things that I enjoy doing on my own personal trips to reserves, to just park at a waterhole, have a good book. It can be an animal related book or just a fiction that I want to read, and yeah, just enjoy the sights and sounds of a waterhole, but then also knowing that at any moment anything could come down and surprise you. Hi, Karu. You want to know, why is the marsh terrapin also a turtle? It's also called the African helmeted turtle. I thought turtles and terrapins are different. Their feet and legs not so. Um, Karu, they are definitely different. And they are, as far as I know, marsh terrapin. I didn't actually know that they have that alternative name as the African helmeted turtle. Um, but to classify them as a turtle is incorrect. They are not turtles, they are terrapins. In fact, in that grouping, the Chelonia grouping, under the reptiles, we have the turtles, the terrapins, and the tortoises, and each one of them is adapted and lives differently, but they all have that shell on their back. And there's also a little bit more of a change in that classification, but for now we'll just stick to the three of them. And yeah, anyway, the terrapins are still terrapins in the marsh, and the serrated hinged is um, the other type of terrapin that I'm familiar with in South Africa that we see. And yes, terrapins, I've heard them described as sort of freshwater turtles, but that's also not entirely correct. So they are not found in the sea. Terrapins are found in land water sources. They can navigate on land as well as in water. So they are sort of, I guess, amphibious in that way, that they can live both in water and on land. But yeah, that is the turtle, which has flippers. It doesn't have feet. And I think you are aware of these differences from your question, So I definitely, from my understanding and from what I know, it is definitely still a terrapin and not a turtle, even if they have an alternative or local name that's referred to as that. They are not turtles and they are not classified as turtles. There's just far too many differences, with turtles being marine based and terrapins being freshwater based. Zygot, you say that you hear hippo. I think you're absolutely right. Is there not a hippo just above those termite mounds, sort of above the baby elephant? It looks like a big blob in the water that looks hippo-ish. So I think you are absolutely right in the fact that there's hippo. I can also hear Egyptian geese calling. Well, we've come across to Anguma once again, and those are definitely termite mounds. Oh my gosh, now I can see them very clearly. And there's some zebra that are coming into the open. All right, everyone, that's all we have time for today. I can't believe it. It went so quickly. But it was wonderful to join you all here on the Africam show. And yes, I hope you all have a wonderful day ahead. That's goodbye from me.